I'm going to do another little update. We have a lot of rain. I'm on my motorcycle and I took a ride, between the bands of rain. Now I want you to see something though. This is a city street in the city of Corpus Christi, Texas. My daughter lives right there. The police officer actually lives across the street. Mike, nice guy. His dog Valentine, the German Shepherd, I was petting her a little. This is a city street. Now, I'm not trying to show off on my motorcycle. My daughter had my car. I would have took the car. But when I went and looked, the car was gone. And I don't like to sit around, but it was in between. This is, I don't know, maybe 10 miles from my house. You do go over the bridge, but it was in between the bands of rain. So I figured if I'm going to take a walk or take a ride on the motorcycle, I'll at least make it to the house before it downpours. There is flash flooding. There's some water that goes over the roads. We don't want to overdo some of the news reporting on the hurricane, and hurricanes are bad and all, but some of it, they do overdo it. It's been overblown, and that's top news. But what I want you to see, I don't blame the city for me burning my leg on my motorcycle. See some of this road? My son-in-law actually had to buy dirt and try to pave somewhat of the road, and then he pulled his big truck with like a grader behind it to try to fill up some of the holes. Their taxes are maybe about $5,000 a year. This is a city street. This is not the county. Don't be mistaken. This is a city street in the city of Corpus Christi, Texas. Okay? But when I went through, I know there are deep holes in this street. And I knew they would be flooded. So when I went through with my motorcycle, a little while ago when I came out here, I had to decide, I'll go on whatever side. So my leg hit the, exhaust pipe and kind of burnt my leg a little bit, which I'm not blaming. But this is what I want you to see. Maybe you get a good view. Now look how deep this is on a city street. Look how deep this water is. It's falling down. That's a pothole. Okay? That's a pothole. I want to drop my phone. You say it's over-exaggerated. No. Because I know how deep it is. I have to ride through here. That's your promotion for your city. Okay? That's where I burnt my leg coming over. But even when there's no storm conditions, you still have that huge, maybe about a 3.5 foot deep pothole. When there's no rain, there's nothing on the ground, you still have to ride your vehicles sort of like up on the... All right? I wanted you to see it. My motorcycle's back there. We do have a lot of alerts, and, people should stay off the roads as much as possible. And the hurricane coverage that's going on, there was a couple of things that you could see. There was one media outlet that blamed Trump openly for the hurricane. It had to do with global warming. There was a Washington Post, or one of them said it was his fault. I just saw, checking all the news, they said, well, what about all of the diseases? And they had a picture of a black man. They said, but what about all of the diseases that the water might cause? True. So what does Trump have done? This is the narrative. What has he done to prevent any diseases that any flooding would ever cause, and possibly the death of black people as well as white people? But the picture was a black man. And the story basically was, the headline was, maybe it's not as bad in so many words as we said it was, category. Some were saying category 5, and it was already down to category 2, 2.5. They said, but biblical flooding we've never seen, okay? Then Trump, some said Trump is the cause of this. Some media said Trump is the cause of this. And then you had, what is he doing for the possible water? That's what the most recent one I saw. What about the diseases that black people might get from the flooding? Maybe it's Trump's fault. And you say you're exaggerating. I saw a few the last few days. They even had a video of somebody on the Weather Channel. It's kind of gone viral now. He's standing against the wind of the hurricane, like it's you got to hold on, it's pulling you down, and there are two people walking behind him. Now, granted, there was wind, but he was faking the wind blowing him over because there were two normal people just walking behind him. That's kind of gone viral. Okay. The streets of Corpus Christi, Texas.